What's up, Reapers? Welcome back to the crypt. Um, wow. I didn't actually film anything yesterday. Or did I? No. I think I did. Never mind. Um, this is some albums I've been listening to. One is an EP. These are all bands I found through Killbot and Gorgortek. I've been in the mood for him today. Um, don't get me wrong, I still like anime. Um, just kind of got burned out on the weeb grind stuff. I also just don't have a whole bunch of that in my collection. Most of this was advertised, but then it got ruined. But first up, we got Hemorrhage with Groom. Probably my favorite Hemorrhage album. I mean, Nephritic Blue and Rectovaginal Fistula are definitely my favorite tracks. Um, Gore Grind from Spain. Um, Next up is the only album from Guar I actually own, which sucks because it's not even my favorite. So it has some really good catchy tunes. Guar with The Blood of Gods. Really good album. My favorite on here is El Presidente by Warren Guar, Viking Death Machine, uh, Death to Dickie Duncan. So good. And I'm pissed I'm missing their fucking tour again. But whatever. Can't do much about it. Next up is Como Souls by Creator. He actually used a vinyl of this in what the fuck was it called? Minefield of Metal. Put me in the mood to listen to this album. And yeah, it's really good. Um Not my favorite Creator album, and I can understand. I know a lot of people would say "Oh Como Souls" is overrated or whatever, but I think Pleasure to Kill is a more overrated album. And don't get me wrong, I love both albums. This doesn't even have like, you have to look at the disc for the songs like Title Track, People of the Lie, Terror Zone, Twisted Urges, Hidden Dictator, blah, Mental Slavery. Really good songs on here. Next up is Nine Inch Nails, Downward Spiral. This is the deluxe edition that has two discs. Really good remaster as well. Um, I actually love doing this. Makes it. That's so funny. But I mean, Mr. Self Destruct, Reptile, Hurt. They even have quiet version of her uh, downward, downward spiral bottom remix, and Dead Souls, which was in the soundtrack to The Crow, which is one of my favorite movies fucking ever. Next up, Suffocation with Souls to Deny, really good album. Uh, Subconsciously Enslaved is probably my favorite song on here. Um, it doesn't have huge hits like what the fuck, Thrones of Blood, and Seeds of Suffering, but good shit nonetheless. Next up, one of my favorite Slayer albums, South of Heaven, Title Track, Silent Scream, reap, spill the blood, read between the lies. Behind the Crooked Cross is probably my favorite song off Fear. Um, it's definitely like one of my favorite Slayer songs ever. Next up, some grindcore, Repulsion, Horrified. I mean, the first song, the iconic. Next up, Origin with Echoes of Decimation. Then you got Reciprocal, Endless Cure, Cloning the Stillborn, Debase Humanity, Echoes of Decimation, title track. Really good, but my favorite is easily Stirring from the Abyss. That was like the first Origin song that really stuck with me. And really put me in the mood for like, yeah. Next up are by the same band, and my favorite is actually between these two, because it's Cause of Death and Slowly We Rot by Obituary. Like this is probably currently my favorite album, but this has like my favorite Obituary song, which is Memories Remain. I mean, Infected, Body Bag, Chopped in Half, their cover of Circle of the Tyrants. This is just overall fantastic album. Internal Bleeding, Godly Beings, Slowly We Rot. Slowly We Rot was the first fucking song I ever heard from him. I love the kill all. I can't do the hardcore ass vocals. Next up, Nile, Annihilation of the Wicked. I love this album. Cast Down the Heretic, Lash to the Slave Stick, Annihilation of the Wicked. That song is huge. Yeah. Municipal Waste, Fatal Feast, Idiot Check. I love that song. I feel like that could definitely be told to some people I know in my life. I'm like, you should really fucking listen to this song, and maybe you'll actually understand where I'm coming from when I say you're entitled. You're Cut Off. Title track is really fun, and it actually has a really cool music video, which was one of the first Municipal Waste songs I ever heard. Now my favorite is probably still the first album, the Waste 'Em All, but my favorite Ghoul album, Dungeon Bastards. Um, this is probably my favorite, although my favorite for a while was Splatter Thrash, which is really odd, but this just has really good drumming, and the production is fantastic. I mean, I could not tell you a single fucking song to just check out. Just check out the whole thing. Next up, I'm wearing the hat. Immolation, Dawn of Possession. Has some of my favorite songs like Into Everlasting Fire, Dawn of Possession, Burial Ground, Immolation. Really fucking good old school death metal album. So glad I got to actually see them opening for Code Decapitation last year. Next up is Entombed, Left Hand Path, one of the first death metal albums I ever heard. Next up is Dying Fetus, Grotesque Impalement. Everyone should know this. This was really weird because, like, I got in a kick last year, the year before, to buy a bunch of Dying Fetus stuff, and I think it was the year before. I was like, oh, I owned one of the albums, and it wasn't even like one of the ones I heard yet, so I was like, and I'm like, I need to get Grotesque Impalement, but every time I looked, I couldn't find it, and then finally it popped up. I bought it, and I was like, fuck yeah, so I bought it. Bolt Thrower with Realm of Chaos. This is the only Bolt Thrower album I own. I'm not huge into Bolt Thrower, but I'm slowly getting into them. I mean, Eternal War, Lost Souls Domain, Plague Bearer, World Eater, Drowned in Torment, All That Remains. Really good shit. Yeah, I mean, not much to really show there. Next up are all by the same band. First one annoys me because Carcass Putrefaction, however it's said. I hate this little sliver of art. It's either don't have the art at all or have the art. And I don't even get booked there or anything. It's just this. So I'm hoping to get a different copy of this that actually has the artwork. I don't care if it's the censored artwork or the grotesque artwork. I don't like that little sliver. Next up, Carcass Symphonies of Sickness. Love this album. This is probably my favorite. Ruptured and Putrescence. Such a good song. And then my second favorite, Carcass Necroticism. Descanting the Slorbrus. Really good old school death metal. Also, my favorite is between Symphonies and Surgical Steel. If I had to say, I actually have three favorite Carcass albums, depending on the day. Surgical Steel, Necroticism, or Necrotism, however you want to say it, and Symphonies. It really depends on my day. So I guess you can't really say that it's a second favorite because it's kind of tied in. But and then finally, in one of his Metalhead Box videos, he actually mentioned this album, and it's actually really good. This is Cannibal Corpse with The Wretched Spawn. Now, if you look at that, you get that. You get to split that open, and then you can have. And one of those is a DVD. On the making of this album, but Decency Defied, Frantic Disembowelment, Rotted Body Landslide, really good shit. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. As always, keep it grim.